Welcome back. The journey of the city of Shaker Heights is a subject that has received national attention over the years. As we know, it's a unique city, a model for many others when it comes to diversity. But that journey has not always been easy. And these days, Shaker Heights continues to deal with bumps in the road, old and new. It's the subject of a new book by Washington Post reporter and Shaker Heights native Laura Meckler. It is called Dreamtown, Shaker Heights and the Quest for Racial Equity. I recently had the chance to talk with Laura about it at Loganberry Books in Shaker. When folks are finished reading this book, what do you want them to take from the title, Dreamtown?
There's a lot of ways to interpret this title. You might think of it as an adjective, like this is a dream town, the perfect place. But that's not really how I think of it. I think of it as a verb, dream. This is a town that is dreaming. It's not a place where all the dreams have come true, not by a long shot, but it is a place that has them. And I think that's important.
For decades, Shaker Heights has been held up as a national model of successful suburban integration. Here's a clip from a 1970s era ad touting Shaker schools.
In Shaker Heights, voluntary school busing has resulted in a stimulating educational experience for hundreds of children.
Yet, this inner ring streetcar suburb developed in the 1920s by brothers and property developers O.P. and M.J. Van Swearingen was originally founded on very different ideals.
It's fair to say they did not have diversity on their mind. They were not interested in the races living in harmony. Quite the opposite. They were in fact building an exclusive community for the, quote, right sort of people, and that meant wealthy white Clevelanders sort of escaping the city. To me, it makes the transformation all the more interesting.
Meckler's book dives deep into that history and follows the story of early integration pioneers in the city's Ludlow neighborhood, who took action to fight back against the kind of blockbusting that encouraged white flight. Beverly Mason was one of those trailblazers.
We actually became the real estate agent for our community. We showed houses, we bought buyer and seller together. So I still feel that we were pioneers.
I knew from a very young age that Shaker had done some extraordinary things. It had voluntarily integrated the schools when other communities were fighting court orders to do the same. It had a very progressive housing policy that was working to try to integrate and maintain integration in neighborhoods.
The book also details the movement's detractors and everyday citizens as they grappled with the many struggles to maintain racially balanced neighborhoods and schools.
You can teach kids about race, but it's different. When you grow up next to a family that is racially different than your own, and you're all part of the same block and the same world, that goes deeper.
It also takes a hard look at the city's ongoing challenges, including a new effort to address a persistent achievement gap between white and black students. In your research, what were the biggest racial disparities you found from an education standpoint in Shaker Heights?
It is up and down the board. You can look at it at SAT scores, you can look at grades, you can look at scores on standardized state tests, and these gaps are just pronounced, and they have been for years, for decades, really. We've seen this gulf between white students and black students. Now, that's not just true here in Shaker, that's true all across the country. There's a very controversial effort going on right now to combine kids of different ability levels into the same classes. That's an effort to get at those academic inequities that have persisted for so long.
How optimistic are you that Shaker Heights will be able to figure this all out?
Well, I'm optimistic in general about the future, and that is because this is a community of people who are committed to working on these issues. This is not a problem that's just going to be solved one day. I don't think it will be. Can it be improved? Yes, I do think it can be improved. I came away at the end of the day feeling like it was something more hopeful, because in a country with, hundreds of thousands of places, most of whom are not even trying. They're not even living with people who are different than themselves. This is a place where that work is still going on.